I go refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and to them in whom this precious jewel of mind, inborn to them I bow. I go refuge to those spring of happiness who bring their very enemies to perfect bliss. With this, very good morning to everyone here. Respected Venerable Sangha and distinguished the scientists, expert, and academician and researchers, and the most important, the very kind human being, Dr. Samle, and his very enthusiastic and very energetic team here, team of the organizer committee. I greet and I'm very thankful to all of you for bringing me here all the way from India, Ladakh, Himalayan, northern part of India. So I feel honored to be here, and of course, Chiang Mai is a very beautiful place, and I've been enjoying a lot, especially on the way to Bangkok to Chiang Mai. Like we came on a car, so on the way it's very beautiful, and like this is first time in this convention hall I feel cold in Thailand. Okay, so with this and I'll be speaking on healthy mind in a healthy body, Buddha Shasana perspective. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Samle, and this is a perfect example, where the Buddhism and science, because Buddhism believe in scientific approach, whenever we speak about Patita Samutpada, so it is all about cause and condition. There's no concept of creator, right? So it is Buddha said, you are your own teacher. Like I can show you the path, but following the path is totally up to us, right? So it's more scientific and and also I'll be speaking later on this Albert Einstein. He said once, the religion that go well with modern science would be the Buddhism, right? So Buddhism, there is scope of questioning, there you can question, and and also all the methods, it's very scientific, right? From the beginning of Four Noble Truth, Four Noble Truth, again there's this suffering, right? Again it talks about the cause of suffering, we as a human being, we suffer, and that is very evident, right? So and Buddha said, there's the suffering is not come from somewhere, from the sky. It is caused by us, right? Not being disciplined, not taking care of the cause and conditions, the food we consume, right? If we make mistake in consuming food, there it's a high chances of getting sick, right? Similarly, if now this in 21st century, the mental health become very important issue, all over the world, right? So there again, when it comes to mental health, there again this if, as Buddha said, if we when it talks about the mind and mental factors, the chitta and chaittasika in Buddhism, right, in Abhidhamma. So there is this wholesomeness, the mental factors, positive mental factors are there. So if we practice those positive mental factors, there's high chances of becoming happy mind or healthy mind. So likewise, if we like again consume negative thoughts, like there are high chances of getting like mentally disturbed, right? This is very evident. Like it is not based on like uh, uh, belief or faith. Like it is like very evident. It is there in front of us. This is like how much Buddhism like it there, like we can understand uh, the very methodology of the Four Noble Truths. There we understand the scientific approach, right? And also like here like it talks about the nature and the perfection of life. I think in Buddhism, like we cannot expect the perfection of life. Like it is okay to be imperfect life, but like we have to understand it. Like we have to be mindful about our life. Like sometimes we get sad, right? We feel disturbed. It is okay, like but like we have to understand what makes you sad, what makes you your mind disturbed. Likewise, why you're unhealthy now, why you are getting sick, right? So if you are mindful about the very the imperfect life, so there are high chances of like getting disturbed out of that, right? So like here like when it comes to this again, the padita samutpada, so it talks about like this like if like again, like if you have a negative thought, there are high chances of getting like feel isolated, like feel lonely, right? That makes us most of the time suffer mentally, right? So here, like I believe the very the like Siddhartha Gautama is one of the great scientists that like that world has ever created. That's what I believe it. Because like and also like and one of the greatest gift that India has over to the world, right? So here like this and also this scientific approach is a, and also this is a perfect example, like where like we like we talk we can make more relevant to the world, like because like now like wherever like for instance even in Ladakh, like in my place, we also follow Buddhism, right? Sometimes what happens, like, when we get sick, like we just pray. Praying is good. Praying is good, but again, like, instead of finding the cause of our, the mental, the physical illness, like we just pray and that doesn't give the solution, right? So like and as a good practitioners, Buddhist practitioners should consult a doctor, good doctor, right? So and also like one should not limit it to prayer. Prayer is a very powerful like mechanism in Buddhism, and also like that help us to bring lots of mental peace, right? And again, like when this both the mind and this mind and body, it's always there's a relation, right? Like both the like it can affect each other. Like this I remember like once Dalai Lama said, Dalai Lama, he said like when he was in Bodh Gaya, so he feels sick, and he had to cancel his teachings in the middle of the like the middle of the teaching that supposed to take place. Unfortunately, he has to leave Bodh Gaya because like there was no proper medical facilities. So and like he was having terrible pain in his stomach. So while going to the airport, like on the way, he saw lots of kids, small kids, not having proper clothes, and like walking on the walk and begging. And by seeing them, he feel relief, like and he just like he feel lots of compassion towards those kids. At the same time, because of that, and it reduces his pain that is happening in his stomach. So here always a relation. There's always relation mind and body, right? So here. And also it's very interesting. One thing I want to share here is Buddha said whoever see interdependent origination see the Dhamma, right? And whoever see the Dharma see the Buddha. The Buddha here is not Siddhartha Gautama. Here Buddha is awakened one. Like every one of us can be awakened, right? So and the interesting part here is he didn't say whoever see me see the Dhamma, right? He didn't say that whoever see me, instead he said whoever see the Padita Samutpada, whoever see the dependent origination, right? So he never said that it's not me, it is important. It is a Dhamma, it is a Padita Samutpada that is important. It's very scientific, right? So when it's very interesting, and when I was when I went for a test to Dr. Samle, so there I was asked you have this pain or that pain, what are the problem you have, and there I have been telling everything, right? So there it is very interesting that he tried to understand. He tried to understand the very the cause or the suffering that everyone goes through. That the cause of that suffering, right? Based on that, he will try to give the medicine, right? So while consuming that medicine, I'll be recovered, right? This is it's very practical, right? It is not that you just take this and you will be all right, or you can think of me and you will be all right. It is nothing like that, and it's there's proper process in recovery, right? So likewise, Buddha also said if you are happy, try to find out what makes you happy. Or it's a greed, or it's an attachment, or it's a hatred, right? It's called three poisons, in Buddhism, right? So try to find out, if you understand the cause of the suffering that you are going through, then there are high chances of stopping the emotions, the sad emotions that you are going through, right? In order to stop that, you have to follow certain path, right? Certain path, there we all of us, being a Buddhist, quite lucky, here here what I believe is Thailand is a living tradition of Buddhism, right? So here is everyone knows about the Eight Noble Fold Path, right? So in order to stop such negative emotions, we have to follow certain paths, that is very simple, right? Livelihood, right? What and we as a layman, of course, for instance, is a very appropriate examples to give, Dr. Samle, he has to live a life, right? He has to live a life, so that what he's doing is he's not only living, but he's making a right livelihood, the base out of the very importance of human beings, right? So then again, and there it's not easy, it needs lots of compassion to live a right livelihood, it is not easy, right? It needs lots of compassion, we call it bodhicitta, right? Bodhicitta, and also in a very interesting, there's this Nalinda master, Shantideva, it's Shantideva, he said the problem with people, the human being is though they want happiness, but they're always after the unhappiness, right? So why we are after unhappiness? Because we don't understand the cause and condition, right? To understand cause and condition, we have to be mindful, And rightly here, like, the moderator said, like, it's like we'll be discussing about shamatha and vipassana, right? So, like, what shamatha and vipassana? Like, shamatha is, it's very interesting. It's like very practical, right? So we are disturbed, like, we see a lot of things. We see lots of things, like even like, interacting with every people, like, and it is not only about seeing through your eyes to someone. It is like, while you see someone, so the impression, like, the story will go in your mind. It remains in your this alya vigyana, right? So it's mind, in mind it will remain there. So like there what happens, it's like it becomes like again this yesterday Dr. Samle was showing the while giving his presentation, he was showing this cells, the functions of cells and all here, right? Human body is very complex. Likewise, human mind is also very complex, right? So whatever we interact, like, with any kind of object that generate thoughts, and thought is not just disappear, like, it will remain in our mind, and that become a, like, foundation for our mental health, right? If, like, for instance, like if we keep pouring negative thoughts, like there are high chances of, like, becoming unhappy. Like it is like our physical health. Like, if we consume, like, I should not say it, but like, this fast food, like, if we keep consuming it, like there are high chances of getting sick, right? Because, like, it's the cause or condition that you are creating for your physical health. It's not very unhealthy, right? So likewise, its mind, mental phenomena is also very complex, right? That's why Buddha talks about when it comes to Chitta and Chetsika, like, there are Abhidhamma, again, like, there are differences, like Abhidhamma Kosh and Abhidhamma Samuchya. There are, like, there are 56 mental factors, 42 mental factors, right? So what are the mental factors? Mental factor is nothing but it's like, in Buddhism, it gives importance to both the mind and object, right? So, like, when we see to the object, like, that generates the thoughts, right? So, like, all kind of thoughts, and there, like, those are the mental factors, right? They are unwholesome mental factors, wholesome mental factors, neutral mental factors, right? So physical phenomena, even the mental phenomena is very complex. So, like, to understand, again, like, we have to, like, it is not easy, like, but we have to walk a bit, like, at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes meditation a day, like, it's like see, like, in my experience, like, when I try to, I cannot study, like, I cannot meditate for so many hours, like, or so many minutes, but like I try to meditate for 5 minutes every day, and that helps me a lot, like, uh, and like especially and when you meet, like when you interact with someone, like, like when I go to university to teach, like, my students, or like, to have a meetings with my colleagues. So there, like, if something, like, something happens there, like, it helps me to react with lots of compassion, because my mind is settled, like, because of, it's not because of me, it's because of the meditation that I did in the morning, like for 5 minutes, right? So, and also, like, because of me generating compassion towards my colleagues, like, lots of good things happens. And even, like, my students, they submit my assignments, like their assignments on time, because of, like, me generating compassion towards them, right? So this is, like, all interconnected, like, it's very interesting, like very scientific, right? So here, like, in history, if you look at this if you look at throughout the history, right? So, like, it is very interesting, like, how human beings are capable of, right? all of you know Hitler, right? Hitler came to this world and created lots of mess. Like, I don't know, like, but like my point of view, I'm saying, okay? He has created lots of mess, and like, and human beings are capable of creating mess, and at large, like intensity, right? So likewise, at the same time, human beings are also capable of creating peace, right? So like we human being, as a human being, we can think, right? We can think, and like, we can ask questions, we can communicate, right? So, and also like most important thing is we can generate compassion, right? So like in history, like, we get, when we look at the history, there are like, people like, the great personalities like Gandhiji, Martin Luther King, right? So they adopted the path of compassion, loving kindness. And that brought lots of changes in the society. And like that, not only that moment of time, and still we are remembering them, right? Through their approach of peace and compassion, we are encouraged, we are inspired, right? So that's and also and also like even in Buddhism, like, our body is very important. Like, it's there's a proper this Buddha talks about the precious life, right? Precious life, human being. It's why it is precious life, because like, having a human body, like we can meditate, right? We can meditate, like we can contemplate, and also like, we can understand things, the reality, the nature of reality. Like, when you talk, when like, animal, like, I think I'm not sure, but like, as per my knowledge, an animal cannot discuss about pajita samutpada or emptiness. Like, as a human being, like we can discuss about emptiness, right? So emptiness, like, when we talk about the shunyata, the emptiness, like, we understand like the object in a proper manner, right? The reality of object. So like and again, like here, in purpose, in Buddhism, the purpose of understanding the object is not to create or like invent something very it is not something like complex phenomena, but like it is uh, to understand, right? So like here, like human beings are very capable, like capable of again creating like, the most important like, generating compassion towards all living beings, right? So again, like, when it talks about like, at the science perspective, like, there are even like then now earlier, like, at certain point of time, like the science is more emphasized on our physical health, right? So like, it like they study about the body, and like, they try to what medicine can cure the make the body better, right? So now, like, even like modern science, like, they started emphasizing on the mental health. Like, there are this I like I have very little knowledge about the this modern science, but like, as per like for this like, to prepare this presentation, I have I have gone through few papers, research paper, like very good research paper. They're when it comes to interconnection of mental and physical health, GL Angel said, while discussing on the biopsychosocial model, and he said there, like, physical health is influenced not just by biological factors, but also by psychological and social factors, right? Psychological fitness directly impact physical health, vice versa, right? And forming a dynamic system. It's very dynamic system, right? So likewise, G.A. Miller said, mental health condition like stress, anxiety, depression have been linked to development of physical illness. Obviously, like, if we are not like, good practitioners, like, or like we or just a practitioner, it is very difficult, like, to handle our emotions when we get sick, right? So it get automatically we get disturbed. So like he said, like, there's a link between the, like, the mental health and the and physical body, like, physical health, when it comes to depression and other anxieties and stress and all, right? So again, like physical, such as diseases, diabetics, and or immune, when there's a low immune system, the this and also there, like, and that the mind, if you are mentally strong, like, mentally positive, and there are high chances of reducing the pain that you are going through, right? And also, like, it's very interesting, like, when, like, the mind, the Buddha has, like, discussed, Buddha has taught us that, like, when we are unlike physical pain, like, when we are disturbed emotionally or mentally, so, like, when we are, like, try to change a bit, like, with a positive mind, like, it can cure within a second. It's very interesting, right? So, like, of course, like, physical, to recover from the physical illness, it takes some times, but, like, when it comes to mental issue, like, it can be recovered, like, in within a second or a minute, like, if you change the perspective. So here, the further this researcher said, like, positive psychological states like optimism, happiness are associated with strong immune responses, right? So on the contrary, mental health issues can suppress immune functions and make individuals more illness, right? So there we can understand the relation between the mind and body, right? So, and also further, like, one of the professor, like, Dr. Bob Biak said, regular physical activities, and also it is very important to have a regular activities, like, to keep our health, right? So he said, like, it's shown, the physical activity has been shown to reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety and improve overall mood, right? So that's why, like, it's like there are certain schools, like, even in Buddhism, not only in Hinduism, and even in Buddhism, like, emphasize a certain practice of yoga. Meanwhile, you are, meditating for many years. Like, for instance, there are certain practitioners, they isolate themselves for 3 years, like, and they're like, they don't only meditate, but also they do yoga, right? So, like, here, like, if you are unhealthy, like, you cannot, like, meditate, right? And also, if you are mentally disturbed, and you cannot generate compassion, like, practically, right? For instance, what Dr. Samle is helping thousands of people, like, through his noble activities, is because he's healthy now, he can do it, right? Both mentally and physically, right? So if someone is like, for instance, if I'm unwell, I cannot come here to share my views, right? So, like, it is very important to have, like, both the mind and physical health. So, like, I'll be discussing a little bit about this, the importance of the physical human body, right? So, like, there's again this Shanti Deva. Shanti Deva is one of the Nalinda master. He said, like, take advantage of take advantage of this board, the human body, to free yourself from the great river of suffering. Since this board will be hard to find again, now is not the time for sleep, you fool, right? So, and also, like, at the same text, like, it's like Guide to the Bodhisattva, Bodhicitta Chari Avatara. Like, there he said, this leisure and endowment, like, he referred to the human body, okay, which are so difficult to obtain, have been acquired, and they bring about welfare of the world. If one fails to take this favorable opportunity into consideration, how could this occasion occur again, right? So, like, Buddhism places great emphasis on the mind-body connection, and unhealthy body can lead to distraction, discomfort, and suffering that makes difficult to concentrate or maintain a clear state of mind. Conversely, a healthy body contribute to mental clarity and emotional balance, which are crucial for practices like meditation, mindfulness, and development of developing insights. So, and again, like, there's sutta, like, the importance of when it comes to, I'll conclude. Excuse me. You want me to conclude? Okay. 5 minutes. Huh? So here, like, there's sutta, like, Kitagiri Sutta. So, like, here it says, like, Buddha says, like, again in the sutta, what it says is, like, I have heard that one occasion, the blessed one, the Buddha, was wandering on a tour of Kashi, Varanasi, right, with a large community of monks. There he addressed the monks, I abstain from the night meal. As I'm abstaining from the night meal, I sense next to no illness, right? Next to no affliction, lightness, strength, comfortable abiding. Come now, you too abstain from the nighttime meal. As you are abstaining from the nighttime meal, you too will sense next to no illness, no affliction, lightness, strength, and comfortable abiding. Right? Very interesting. Right? And also, like, Nagarjuna is one of the like, greater one of the greatest philosopher, like Buddhist philosopher, right? Like, who emphasize on the shunyata, the commentary, like, the middle path, like, it's very interesting, like, I recommend to especially like students to read these books. It's very interesting. Madhyamika Avatara, right? So entering to the Madhyamika philosophy. So here it says, like, eat with the idea that food is medicine. Like, you have to consume like a medicine, not with feelings of attachment or aversion, or out of conceit and pride in your appearance, nor a wish to gain weight. It only sustain the body. It only sustain the body. To sustain, we have to eat it, not to, like, to make muscles, or, like, like gain lots of like, I mean, like, it's to make it like, like a bodybuilder, no? Yeah. So we have to eat the food. We have to consume the food to sustain it. Like, if we follow certain technique, then there are high chances of, like, having very fit, like, can have a very good healthy life, right? So I'll just quickly there again, like, very important this line from, so that everyone knows that the importance of mind, right? Commit not a single unwholesome actions, cultivate a wealth of virtue, tame completely this mind of yours. This is the teaching of Buddha, right? It's very easy, right? Buddhism is very easy, very scientific. Like, you just have to take care of your emotions. You have to take care of your mind. The only condition is you have to be a mindful, right? So, like, when you are mindful, and you will definitely take care of your mind, as well as, like, you will maintain, like, balance when it comes to the consuming food, right? Like, there's this now in 21st century, lots of commercial, the advertisement you see, this burger, if you eat this burger, this extra one burger will be free, right? So what, and you just go directly and consume both the burgers, right, despite, like, thinking of your health. So, and also, like, this one of the practice of Bodhisattva, it says, the practice of all Bodhisattva is to make genuine exchange of one's own happiness and well-being for all the suffering of others, since all misery comes from the seeking happiness for oneself alone, right? It's like most of the unhappiness comes from the, happiness that you only look for yourself, right? The genuine happiness comes when you are, like, when you think about other people, like, when you are generated compassion towards other people, right? This is very practical and very relevant and very much needed in 21st century. So, like, once I don't remember who said it, but, like, in 21st century, we don't need, like, very highly qualified scientists. Now in 21st century, we need compassionate being, mindful, like, those who are mindful, right? So these are the very much necessary, of 21st century. So again, like, I don't have time, but, like, again I want to remind that, like, shamatha and vipassana is inseparable practice of Buddhism. So we have to practice it, like, otherwise, like, again, like, we, since we have lots of distractions, so it's very difficult to control your mind, right? So at the end, so I'll just I have more this points to discuss, but like since we don't have time, so here I want to remind, like including myself, all of you, like since you're living in this living tradition of Buddhism, like this beautiful country, Thailand, like so there, like there's no other way than to study Buddhism. We have to study, we have to padita samutpada, we have to know cause and condition, like which cause will generate negative emotions, unhappiness, which cause makes you unhealthy physically, right? So if we understand that, then we will be like okay, like we'll be okay, like we are not like Buddhism never says that, like to attain perfect life, like perfect happiness, don't look for that. But like when you have a problem, you have to have a capability to managing it. That skills what Buddha say, like always emphasize, right? So I'm not talking about here like attending nirvana, it's like not cup of our tea, but like again doing management, like keeping hygienic mental health, mind, hygienic mind, right? And physically fit. So these are very important. So Buddha said, through study we come to understand phenomena, through study we turn away from the negative actions, through study we give up what is meaningless, and through study we reach the state beyond sorrow, right? And this is what like we should take care of it. And at the end, again I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Samle and his team, and also I would like to express my the brother Kamthan, like who like always inspire me through his right livelihood, right? So he's like or like he's my brother, kind of, he's like my friend and everything is. And also at the end also I would like to thank my university, for giving me permission to travel to Thailand. So like it's like it's the end of the semester, lots of work there, but like again like they permitted me to travel to Thailand. And I thank everyone for listening and to me and bearing my the views that I have towards Buddhism. So with this, I welcome question, and like if you have any questions or any kind of critical views, or like whatever I said, like you can be critical, right? Since Buddhism is all about like questioning, right? So and also like I think I will ask Brother Kamthan to share his thoughts on like how Buddhism and the modern science, like helping him, like how his perspective, like it would be like great if you can share with us, please. Thank you, everyone.
Uh, มีคนสัมภาษณ์ผมคนเดียวเหรอครับ
So again like the Brother Kamthan, I call Brother Kamthan. Let me ask few questions like living a healthy life, right? So and like how your mental health, the effect, like the mindful mind helps to feel that healthy physical health.
I follow your guidance, sir. Well, with the wholesome mind, with the positive mind, with the positive thinking, it leads you to partly other than the intake you're taking from Dr. Sumli, that greatly helps. So both part, the mind and the matter part, when they are acting in concert, you get you call it the healthiness, the physical health,
By the way, the brother Kamthan, I met him for the first time in Bodh Gaya, right? So I just met him, he needed a translator there. So he called me, and then I went to Bodh Gaya. So we went to the coffee shop, and we ended up staying there for almost three hours, discussing about Buddhism and so it was quite interesting his depth understanding about the Buddhism, right? So can I ask you what Buddhism means to you?
Very difficult question. If I were to have to answer anything, I would say that it's a reality. It means reality, and that's it.
How this the Buddha Shasana, the connect with the physical health?
Okay, I practice. You call the Vedananupassana. Yeah. Prior to coming to know Dr. Sumli for a long time, and I've been integrating the Vipassana into my daily living, in all actions I'm doing to the extent that I could. Sometimes, I went bizarre. I was so unmindful, did crazy things. Some stupid decisions. Or some too smart. Yeah. Then, the mindfulness, of course, when you are engaging in the Vedananupassana, mindfulness is very important. Yeah. Sometimes you're mindful, but yet it leads to the mindfulness, from strength to strength to the mindfulness. Yeah. And I believe that it could dictate. I say dictate to the extent that you're mindful all the time in whatever you do. You don't. Perhaps you may not need sitting a separate session. Yeah. And the strength of mindfulness is there all the time.
The young generation, today's young generation, we are very busy, right? We are very busy doing many things, working hours and hours, and especially in place like Thailand. So young generation, for their living, they have to work hours and hours. Not only that, and there is also lots of distractions around, right? There are many things that distract them mentally, right? And also at the same times, they don't have a time to have home food. They have to base on most of the time the fast food, right? So, and such kind of situation, how the young generation can balance, in terms of their living as well as taking care of their mental health and physical body. Your advice, please.
I cannot give an advice to anyone, no? But this is what I'm doing to myself and to the the people in the younger generation around me. Yeah. Well, King's father, King's Ramani's father, yeah, have made, in fact, I can't really say whether it's a teaching, but the notion is there at every hospital that think about benefit of the others ahead of your own benefits. Yeah, and I think that way it is very important where when you are, particularly when Dr. Sumri has already mentioned yesterday that it's not. It's quite a task, listening to him yesterday about the school. Yeah, he pointed out that in focusing, in doing things, that has also given the positive energy. Yeah. So my reading to his saying yesterday was that it is something that you are doing things for the others, achieve something for the benefit of the others. And my belief is that as much as doing for the others is doing it for yourself. So when while doing work, you are all these children, all this younger generation, they are also being on the noble path. Yeah. Without the noble path, one may not be able to exit the cycle of sufferings. And so my belief is, other than working, yeah, looking at benefit of the others, yeah, at the same time, you are also leaping your own benefits, and that is how I would interact with my the younger generation I dealt with, and at the same time, as Dr. Samli said, technologically, we may not be up to date, so we have to hear what they have to say, and we have to be analytical. We have to be analytical to be able to also, catch up with them, so that at my age, it's they call elderly, and at their age, they could call themselves teen or whatever, so that we don't have the gap between us. We have the understanding of each other, and I think that is very important in living a life, because it would create what you call balancing. And that balancing would bring the happiness, collective happiness to the community. You don't feel organized, being organized or organizing somebody. You are living together with different generations harmoniously. Yeah, and I think this is very important to my looking after myself through the the guidance, the advice, the help of Dr. Samli. It was painful at the beginning when I first took the supplement that Dr. Samli had provided, because when you take something in, yeah, when you swallow the water, when you eat something, that sensation, yeah. So when there's sensation with the awareness, because as I said, I practice Vedananupassana. Yeah, at the beginning it was pretty tough, because the supplement that I took was quite evident to the sensation inside, my head widening, stomach pain, and all that. And so I said to myself, this must be the work there of the substance I took from Dr. Samli. So I try to be mindful and equanimous. Over days, I felt a lot better physically. Yeah. Yes. As you said, if your health is not in good condition, your mind may not function well, and they go together. So, as my physical body, as my physical perception, like insight with it. So when the intakes going in, I observe to the utmost minuscule of perception I had, not just the surface, yeah. Where were the sensations? So I observed, and I believe that I believe that perhaps it's my own silly belief that by doing that, by me traveling from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, which is not I'm fully engaged. I have to find time to come to Chiang Mai all the way. I treating myself, and at the same time, I got to cooperate, help myself, coming to Dr. Samli. And that means that, I could have less work looking after myself. He could have less work having to care about me. And I think that is, to me, that is the best way in helping Dr. Samri indirectly by helping myself. No? And one day, Dr. Samri asked me, Kun Kamton, what would happen if you don't need to take all this supplement? And I said, okay, if I don't have to take, I don't have to take. But I will miss you, doctor. As much as all of us have known without a word that he was saying, but with what he's been doing, with what he has taken the load, I could say, as I listened to what he had to say yesterday for the whole world. And I happen to have interest in what Dr. Samri has been doing throughout this year, because I also had my personal interest in what Dr. Samri was doing, without knowing that, there would be someone out there, and it's him, who gave me the answer. And all this couldn't have happened unless we have the same frequency, I think. Yeah. And despite the fact that I was looking for the answer that I was looking for a long time, and I found that it's only here in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, and with Dr. Samri, despite the fact that I have my own homework, to do the mental caring, the mind caring, yeah, I would like to convey my utmost gratitude, yeah, towards the loving kindness, the compassion that Dr. Samri has shared to, not to all of us, to me, let me borrow a word, the big word, the mankind. That's what I think.
I'll ask last question, but a very important question I would like to ask you. like Dr. Samlin, like, yesterday I see him like presenting continuously for 4 hours, like, that needs lots of compassion or like, the motivations, intentions. So, and also I see that quality even in you, like, there are so many people working under you, like, and yet when I enter your office, there's a lots of positive energy, like everyone smiles, like, so like this now, like, as a leader, like, you are playing very important role as a leader, like compassionate leaders, Dr. Samle, and like, when it comes to you also, right? So, and here, like many youths, like they're like, including myself, we are going to be like, future leaders like you. So like how we can, like, since like we, even including me, like we are coming traditionally from Buddhist family. So like many of us here also, like, they are coming from the traditionally Buddhist family. So how this quality of compassion, loving kindness can make the force for, the work or the role as a leader, like, in the future, like especially for young generation, how this compassion as a workforce for like, future leader.
Very difficult question because I never consider myself a leader. And many other times, my teammates, they're shouting at me, say, hey, no, brother, this is not the way you're going to do it. And I think people may have experience on this, liking or undisliking, and the experiences of, different encounters of different people. We have certain experience, while the others could have the other experience. While it involves technology, the elder generation may be dated, and the younger generation may be advanced. And I think that way is, we can coherently, helping each other. And I think that way, sometimes, your leaders, sometimes you are leading them to the direction where, if wisdom is needed, yeah. I'm not saying that, like we all have that wisdom, right? But of course, with the observation of, to me, with observation of the sensation, it manifests, it reveals the truth, the reality to yourself, what I would say, to your mind, or if there's actually the word to it, yeah. What is to do and what is not to do. I can't really talk about the leadership. I think if we were to talk about the leadership, everyone has that leadership. Yeah. Gurmet is the breed. That's what the Buddha is saying. Yeah? Is that not so? And while we have this collective Gurmet, yeah, respecting each other, with true appreciations of the virtues, and or even the mistake, we learn from it, we correct it. Where in Vajrayana could be transformation or conversion or reflection or whatever techniques you have. In the Tantra teachings, we all can be benefiting with each other in the way that it would sustain the livelihood, the value, the virtues of everyone. And every living. So that's what I think about leadership.
Thank you very much, Brother Kamtan. Thank you.
I thank you. You know, with one encounter in Bodhgaya, I didn't know that it would come this long. He always called me, before he called me Bajay. Bajay means grandpa. And I look like one, you know. And then he was, I think he may be afraid that, you know, I would feel noisy. He called me brother, you know. And I said, sorry, I'm not a Catholic, please. You know, don't call me brother. You know, you can call me Bajay. So now they're confused what they want to call me. And call me anything. Yeah.
I'll rather call bro.
Thank you very much, God.